Continues between Dalton's mayor and the village's board of trustees after multiple members did not attend tonight's monthly meeting.
The Tiffany Henyard saga has exploded into a full-blown controversy, with the pressure mounting as more and more people demand justice. Questions are swirling: why hasn't she been arrested yet? The drama is escalating, with shady deals and hidden secrets coming to light from every corner. But things have taken a shocking twist. Her own lawyer has now turned on her in a heated meeting, dropping bombshell after bombshell that left everyone in the room speechless. This wasn't just another legal discussion. This was a turning point in the saga, one that could change Tiffany's life forever. Her lawyer didn't hold back, revealing chilling secrets that threaten to shatter the carefully constructed public image Henyard has spent years building. Suddenly, the woman who seemed untouchable is staring down the very real possibility of legal consequences that she's managed to dodge for so long. The revelations painted a darker picture than anyone could have predicted: under-the-table deals, questionable actions, and unethical behavior. It's a far cry from the image she tried so hard to maintain. For months, her followers have been in disbelief, unable to understand how someone so clearly tangled in scandal has managed to stay free, even as mounting evidence continues to surface. The big question now is, why hasn't Tiffany Henyard been arrested? How is she still walking free with so many secrets now out in the open? The lawyer's betrayal has peeled back the layers of corruption, and it's clear there's much more to this web of deceit than anyone realized. With the public demanding answers and the legal system now forced to face the truth, it's impossible to ignore the fact that her world could crumble at any moment. As more details leak out, suspicions grow stronger. Are powerful allies shielding her, or is the system simply too broken to act? It's clear that her time in the public eye may be nearing its end. The question remains: can Tiffany Henyard keep avoiding justice, or is the truth finally catching up with her? With everything on the line, the walls are closing in. What was once an untouchable figure may soon become a cautionary tale about how even the most powerful can fall when their darkest secrets are exposed.
I know he was on the ship, the jump ship. Always.
Dramatic meeting in Dalton leads to even more controversy, this time over a new hire.
Not only did Mayor Tiffany Henyard make the hire without consent from the board, we're learning tonight the newest...
There is now irrefutable evidence that Tiffany Henyard has enlisted the help of two high-powered criminal defense attorneys, known for handling some of the most high-profile cases in the country. While it's common to hire a strong defense team when facing serious charges, many are questioning the caliber of lawyers Henyard has chosen, especially since she has steadfastly maintained her innocence. The decision to bring in such controversial figures has sparked widespread speculation about why she would need such an aggressive team if she truly has nothing to hide. One of the attorneys she hired, Brinley, is especially notorious. He gained national attention for defending R. Kelly's former manager, who faced severe allegations of illicit activities and witness tampering. Though Brinley managed to secure an acquittal for his client, his defense strategies were widely criticized for being unethical, often crossing the line of acceptable legal conduct. Over the years, multiple claims have surfaced accusing Brinley of using illegal tactics, such as coaching witnesses to lie, tampering with evidence, and bribing officials to secure favorable verdicts. While these methods were sometimes effective, they raised serious ethical questions and cast a dark shadow over his career. Brinley's controversial career reached its peak in September 2015 when he faced 21 federal charges, including conspiracy and obstruction of justice, stemming from 6 separate cases in which he had served as a defense attorney. Prosecutors accused him of unethical behavior, including improper witness coaching and manipulating evidence. Though Brinley was ultimately cleared of the charges, the case severely tarnished his reputation, leaving many to question his integrity. Despite the damage to his career, Brinley has continued to practice law, though his reputation remains deeply compromised. It wasn't just Brinley's courtroom conduct that raised alarms. His behavior outside the courtroom has also been criticized. Several former clients have accused him of fraud, claiming they paid hefty fees for his services but received little to no results. These clients allege that Brinley mishandled or abandoned their cases, failing to properly evaluate or follow through on his promises. As more disgruntled clients came forward, Brinley's reputation deteriorated further, and his practices faced increasing scrutiny. Yet despite his controversial past, Henyard chose to trust him with her defense. Henyard's decision to bring both Brinley and another attorney, Ed McDavid, to a public meeting in Dalton only fueled the controversy surrounding her case. What was meant to be a serious discussion of her mounting legal troubles quickly turned into a bizarre spectacle. Rather than addressing the pressing legal issues, Brinley and McDavid launched into an impassioned defense of Henyard, attempting to shift blame for the unrest in the village onto others. Brinley, in particular, made several audacious claims that left the crowd in disbelief, many of which were quickly debunked as false or misleading. One of his most scrutinized assertions was his attempt to paint Henyard as the sole victim in the situation. He claimed that she was the target of a coordinated smear campaign, accusing various trustees and officials of orchestrating a deliberate effort to ruin her reputation. This defense strategy was widely seen as deeply flawed, with many questioning whether it was simply an attempt to deflect attention from Henyard's own involvement in the controversy. Brinley's efforts to distort the narrative and manipulate the situation in Henyard's favor were perceived by many as an oversimplification of the complex issues at hand, ignoring the public outrage and mounting evidence against her. McDavid, while supporting Brinley's stance, failed to provide any meaningful details or clarify the key issues in Henyard's case. The meeting left many in attendance, questioning whether this approach was truly in Henyard's best interest, or if it was simply a desperate attempt to deflect from the serious charges against her. The audacity of Brinley and McDavid's statements only deepened the mystery surrounding Henyard's case, making it clear that their high-profile legal team was willing to go to extreme lengths to protect her. However, as the number of allegations against Henyard continues to grow, it remains uncertain whether this strategy will ultimately succeed. While Brinley's tactics may have worked in past high-profile cases, his controversial history now casts doubt on his ability to effectively defend Henyard. The more he and McDavid attempt to deflect attention from the allegations, the more their credibility is called into question. It's clear that Henyard's legal battle is far from over, and with the stakes growing higher, it remains to be seen whether their aggressive defense tactics can save her, or whether the mounting evidence and public outrage will finally bring her to justice.
The scheduled Board of Trustees meeting was canceled because there weren't enough trustees present. But Mayor Tiffany Henyard still showed up and appointed a new village administrator and a new...
Tiffany Henyard's legal troubles have intensified significantly, with a growing list of contentious actions and accusations piling up against her. Despite her criminal defense team's efforts to protect her, some glaring issues have emerged, especially surrounding the actions of one of her attorneys, Brinley. He made the claim that the board lacked the authority to call meetings and misrepresented the Open Meetings Act, stating that a 10-day notice was required to cancel a meeting. In reality, the act only requires such notice when changing the schedule of regular meetings, not when canceling a single session. The situation worsened when Brinley audaciously accused the board of being responsible for Henyard's appointment of Keith Freeman as village administrator. However, video evidence contradicted this, showing that while a motion to approve Freeman's appointment was made, it wasn't seconded and thus failed. Despite this, Henyard went ahead with the appointment, disregarding the board's clear disapproval. Brinley also misrepresented Jason House's authority to sign checks, claiming he lacked such power. However, both the county circuit court and village rules clearly stated that House was authorized to sign checks. These inaccuracies raise serious questions about whether Henyard's defense team is genuinely focused on addressing the core legal issues, or if they're simply trying to deflect blame. Rather than offering a robust defense against the growing accusations, Brinley suggested that Henyard's personal lawyer could halt specific actions, misleadingly implying that only the courts, not her attorneys, could make such decisions. This has led to growing concerns about the true effectiveness of Henyard's legal representation. Are her lawyers genuinely working to resolve the situation, or are they simply engaging in a public relations effort to protect their client at all costs? Henyard herself did not attend the meeting where Brinley and McDavid made these claims, and the village board continued to meet without her. At the meeting, board members discussed Dalton's finances, further highlighting the leadership vacuum in Dalton due to her absence. Stanley Brown, a board member and Henyard ally, made a public appearance, but his actions were met with skepticism. Some residents encouraged him to attend, while others advised against it, fearing his presence might only fuel tensions. This meeting occurred just 1 week after Henyard tried to call an unofficial meeting without a quorum, where she named a new village attorney and administrator, moves that were immediately dismissed as unauthorized. Trustee Jason House quickly rejected Henyard's actions, calling the meeting unofficial and noting that the appointments weren't approved by the board. This only exposed the disarray and lack of coordination within Dalton's leadership. As the village board continued to operate without Henyard, it became evident that her authority was eroding rapidly. Henyard's legal team has focused more on assigning blame to others than addressing the growing allegations against her. Meanwhile, Dalton has been grappling with a leadership crisis, with Henyard's political future hanging in the balance. The more her defense team tries to shield her, the more questions arise that they seem unable to answer. As the community deals with the fallout from Henyard's controversial actions, residents of Dalton are left wondering whether her time in office is coming to an end. The town's political future remains uncertain, as the village trustees continue to address the financial crisis. At a recent trustees meeting, several important topics were discussed, including the municipality's financial struggles and potential layoffs. Tiffany Henyard, as mayor, has been at the center of numerous scandals in recent months, including accusations of financial mismanagement and personal misconduct. These scandals have drawn attention from both political observers and the people of Dalton, leading many to question Henyard's ability to continue leading the town. One major issue discussed at the meeting was a disagreement with the village's bank, which issued a 60-day notice due to signature discrepancies. The bank intervened when Henyard allegedly refused to sign numerous checks totaling millions of dollars in response to claims of misuse of village funds. In addition to these financial concerns, the trustees temporarily halted paying for employee and elected official meals and travel expenses to address fiscal mismanagement. While the trustees were away, residents voiced their disapproval of Henyard's leadership and called for her dismissal. They also approved a temporary ban on travel and food reimbursements, altered check signature requirements, and issued 18 company licenses that had been suspended under Henyard's administration. The board also finalized a new firefighter contract through 2027, placing blame on Henyard's leadership failures. Adding to the legal troubles surrounding Henyard's administration, Lee Lacey, the deputy police chief, is facing federal bankruptcy fraud charges. Many residents attending the meeting expressed their frustration with Henyard's absence and leadership style, which made her absence even more noticeable. One of the biggest issues with Henyard's administration is the alleged financial mismanagement, with critics claiming that she has mismanaged public funds, leading to a significantly higher budget deficit than initially reported. Henyard has eroded public trust by failing to disclose spending information, which violates state transparency regulations. Henyard did acknowledge a $2 million budget gap, but many trustees believe the actual deficit is much higher. Her administration's extravagant spending only further exacerbates Dalton's financial issues. Between July and November 2023, Henyard and her administration spent tens of thousands of dollars on high-end meals, a personal shopping spree, and first-class flights. One of the most egregious examples was a 5-day trip to Austin, Texas, where Henyard and her top aides spent over $220,000 in taxpayer funds, including purchases of sports riding apparel, upscale dining, and luxurious hotel stays. These expenses have infuriated residents, who are questioning her ability to manage public funds, especially during a financial crisis. Henyard's extravagant spending habits, budget imbalances, and failure to address local business licensing issues have raised even more concerns. One such issue involved Lawrence Gardner's trucking company, which was accused of selling alcohol without a permit. Gardner denied these claims and won the case in his favor, suggesting that Henyard's administration may have targeted him for other reasons, particularly after Henyard took office and local business owners were asked to donate $3,500 to the village. At a recent village board meeting, Henyard remained defiant, accusing her critics of politically attacking her and dismissing the charges as part of a smear campaign. She continued to claim that the accusations were politically motivated, despite mounting evidence of mismanagement and failure to address Dalton's financial issues. Henyard downplayed the seriousness of the budget deficit, even as she hosted an $85,000 party for the Taste of Thorn event amid severe budget cuts. The event, which cost $50,000, featured performances by R&B singer Kesha Cole and rapper Jay. But critics like former Dalton trustee Valerius Stubbs criticized it as a failure, noting that only about 70 people showed up. Since January 2023, Henyard and her team have charged over $667,000 to township credit cards for out-of-town travel, including trips to New York, Atlanta, and Portland. The Henyard administration is now under investigation for allegedly misusing public funds for private benefits, which has raised even more concerns regarding her use of taxpayer dollars and potential fraud. Her inner circle has also been impacted by the growing scandals, with the administration facing a civil lawsuit involving allegations of sexual assault during a work trip to Las Vegas. The lawsuit, filed in April 2024, names both Henyard and a village trustee as defendants. Despite federal prosecutors accusing Henyard's top aide, Keith Freeman, of bankruptcy fraud, Freeman maintains his innocence. Officer Brian Miles, a member of Henyard's $1 million security team, has filed a separate complaint, further complicating the case. Despite these allegations and the increasing number of court cases, Henyard continues to defend her actions, claiming she is the target of a political attack. She insists that the trustee boasted about the assault during a FaceTime chat. The controversy surrounding Henyard's administration has been amplified by her hiring of notorious lawyer Beau Brinley, who has defended high-profile clients like R. Kelly's former manager. Given Brinley's questionable legal tactics and his involvement in Henyard's scandals, many citizens are wondering if her time as mayor is coming to an end. Cases of witness tampering and fraud have raised significant concerns about the defense Henyard is preparing to present. Public opposition to Henyard's leadership is growing, with many residents and political observers calling for her removal from office. The Dalton incident has become a warning about what can happen when leadership falters and corruption runs deep. It's clear that Tiffany Henyard's tenure as mayor has been fraught with serious issues, particularly surrounding her financial management and the growing legal controversies. Her administration seems to have created a chaotic and distrustful atmosphere, where both residents and trustees are questioning her ability to lead effectively. The claims of financial mismanagement, extravagant spending, and the various scandals involving her inner circle are deeply concerning, and the lack of accountability only worsens the situation. Henyard's defensive posture, claiming that the criticisms against her are politically motivated while failing to address the core issues, could potentially be a sign of a deeper refusal to acknowledge her responsibility. Her actions appear to undermine the trust of the community, and the mounting evidence against her creates a fragile foundation for continued leadership. At this point, it feels as if the growing legal and financial challenges, coupled with the lack of confidence from both trustees and residents, may force her to step down. The more these issues unfold, the more difficult it will be for Henyard to regain public trust. However, whether she resigns voluntarily or is forced out remains uncertain. One thing is clear: the consequences of her actions have placed her leadership under intense scrutiny. As the story continues to develop, there will likely be more details emerging, especially regarding any final decisions on her position. It will be interesting to see how the community reacts and whether Henyard can salvage her career, or if the pressure will push her toward resignation. It's a situation that will likely keep evolving, and for those following it closely, it seems that this is far from over. What are your thoughts on the matter? Do you think Henyard can recover from this, or has the damage been done?